If you think your parent might be gay or lesbian or bisexual or transgender, or if you have adult children to come out to, this video is for you. A woman wrote to me and said, "I'm a senior citizen and only found the courage, with a lot of gentle nudging from God, to come out to one person last year. I suspect more baby boomers will be coming out. My children are approaching middle age, and I really don't want to hurt them. I think they'd be okay with me coming out, but I'm not sure whether or not I should." Okay, coming out can be difficult for anyone at any age because you're putting it all out there to people you care about and you want to maintain a relationship with. What they say matters to you. So here's what I see. Parents always want to do well by their kids. Good parents do. We want to support our kids, not hurt them, and that's great in a parent. But we're also steeped in over-responsibility for our children, and we can feel guilt about anything. We live in a culture of codependence, and conservative churches especially breed codependence. We are conditioned, especially women are conditioned, to keep everyone happy around us and to be inauthentic to ourselves to do it. Add to that the homophobia dumped into the culture by the moral majority in the 70s and decades of false teaching after that, which those now middle-aged end-up people would have deeply internalized. And it's no wonder you may be terrified to come out to your kids. You've lived through it all, and you don't want to risk these precious relationships. So now what? Well, let's talk about your kids. Here's what they want for you. If they're good, decent kids who love you, they want you to be happy. They want you to be your most authentic you. And that's what you want too. That's what's best for you. I can see this go in three broad ways. One is they're going to be fine. They may need to process this new information. They may see you as a whole different person and wonder who you are now. They may wonder, why didn't you tell me? Do they even know you? And how could you rewrite your history together? Was it all a lie? It's similar to what parents may feel when their children come out. They may think, how much else do I not know about you? You can explain, I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to risk the relationship, and I didn't want to hurt you. But this is me, and it's important to me that you know. And you may need to let them be as they come to their own peace about this new reality. On the other hand, they may say, that makes sense. Yeah, it may be the peace that brings it all together. They may just smile and say, I know, or I thought so. That's the second possibility. The third possibility is any of your kids may totally reject you, and there won't be anything you can do about it. I understand that. But the key here is you already have an idea of who your children are. If they have already expressed negative opinions about this community, you'll want to consider the reality that they may fracture the relationship over this. You can't prevent them from doing that. They may alienate your grandchildren from you. And you maybe nothing you can do about that either. And you may think, well, if they know me, if they know that it's me, they'll change their views because they love me. And while this does happen, don't plan on it. Many a youth thinks, my parents will change when they know it's me, and they find themselves abandoned. Don't plan on that. But this isn't a complete stab in the dark for you, which way your children will go. If your kids are generally affirming of the LGBTQ community, then you can feel more at peace about telling them, even though it's more emotionally complicated when it's your parent for reasons that we talked about, and it may take some time to work through, some adjustment, some questions to answer, you can still feel pretty confident that the end result will be positive. There's a helpful article from Family Equality. I put the link below so you can pause the video and write it down. Ultimately, if they are loving and caring kids, they want what's best for you, and that's to live a true, authentic life. Now, here's a heads up if you're the kid in the situation. If you're the adult child who suspects your parent is gay, you can help them. You don't want to out them. You don't want to ask them if they're gay or bi or trans or whatever, but you can let them know that you're affirming of the LGBTQ community without directing it at them. You can let them know that you support a person loving who they love, living a true life, being happy. I think that could really hit the spot for a lot of people. I tell this to parents who were wondering if their kids might be LGBTQ. I always tell them it's not your place to out them. It's not your place to ask for many reasons. It's just not your job. But here's what you can do. You can communicate your affirmation of this community. You can say, I've seen terrible things happening out there, and laws being passed, and it hurts me that this community, our LGBTQ siblings, are being treated so badly. And you may have to say, I've had a shift in this. I've learned more and I understand better now. You can say that no one deserves to be pushed aside or to be hurt for just being who they are. Whatever's true for you that communicates that you're affirming and that you love them, that you love and value this community, and that your heart is with them. That goes a long way. Now, you don't have to overdo it. I said it multiple ways to give you ideas because you want to help them read the room so they have a better gauge of where you stand so that they know if they're safe to tell you or not. That's the job of the adult child or the family member who wants to communicate that they're safe. Here's the job of the LGBTQ person. Read the room. And when you get a pretty good read that it's probably safe, the time may be right to come on out. I know it can feel scary, but that can become a loop where you just can never quite bring yourself to say it, even though you've long since had the clues that you'll be okay. Now, let me be clear. I'm talking about people who are independent. Your kids are grown. There's no legal battle with an ex who will use this against you. And I trust you to know your legal situation around job or housing, which is a problem in a lot of places. I never want anyone to put themselves at risk when they come out, especially teens or young adults, but also parents who are dependent on their families for support or for a place to live. It's really helpful if you're pretty sure they'll be okay about it and you're just battling nerves and no one will throw you out if you missed your guess. That's helpful to know. Like the woman who wrote the email, she followed up with this. She said, God is still nudging me along, and although I'm now outside the closet, I'm still holding on to the handle. I know God will help me let go when the time is right. I'm so grateful that I'm in a welcoming, affirming, inclusive church, and although I'm not out to them yet, I have been there for many years, and everyone accepts me as I am, and I'm sure they will go on doing so. I'm sure they will too. I'm sure they're waiting for you to come out. It is that person, the one with the lingering doubts and fears that were conditioned into you, but you've read the room and you know you'll be good. You're the one I want to encourage to come on out. People are waiting for you to come out. It's not their place to ask, so they're letting you take the next step. And you'll feel so much freedom. You'll be able to breathe deeply, perhaps for the first time ever. If you've lived for other people for a long, long time with no other options in sight, you deserve to be free. Finally, you get to be you. whatever unfolds, you are beloved and you deserve to love and be loved for who you are, as you are. Feel free to connect with me at freedhearts.org and tell me how it went. I'd love to hear from you. I wish you all the best.